bad things in 42 years of law enforcement, but I never thought I would hear from the governor of our state that if we don't think like him, there's no place for us in New York. If those aren't the words of a tyrant, I don't know what are. But in early 2013, Erie County, like 51 of New York's other 62 counties, passed a resolution calling for the repeal of the SAFE Act. So 52 counties in New York State have sent a message to Albany, 52 of the 62, calling for the repeal of the SAFE Act. And it still hasn't come to pass. But the day that that happened in Erie County, two of Erie County legislators stood up and argued against that resolution, saying, and this is an exact quote that came from the mouths of both of them, that don't you understand, it doesn't matter what we do, Albany is going to do what Albany wants to do. It went pretty much unnoticed, despite the fact that the media was there. But if that state, again, if it doesn't matter what we do, we in Erie County, doesn't matter what we or 51 of the counties do, Albany is going to do what it wants to do, is a declaration that democracy no longer exists in New York State. It's a declaration that the Constitution no longer matters, and probably even more strongly worded in New York State Constitution, in the civil rights section of our Constitution, it makes an even bolder statement that, again, that if we accept that statement as being true, that it doesn't matter what we do, Albany is going to do what Albany wants to do. It might also be this governor's plan to keep us so broke that we'll have to sell our guns at one of the government-sanctioned gun buybacks because we can't otherwise lawfully dispose of them without the state's permission and the purchaser paying a mandatory state fee. So really, these are things in the SAFE Act that too many people don't realize, including grandparents that don't realize they can't pass their guns on to their grandchildren without, again, the state's permission and the payment of a fee. Just a few months ago, two of our Erie County deputies were responding to a domestic complaint, and upon arriving in front of the house, the windshields of both of those patrol cars were shattered by rifle fire. And throughout that night, about a 12-hour siege, the SAFE Act was discussed and denounced throughout the night. And again, by every officer that was there. At the end of that situation was resolved without injury to the individual that was responsible for doing the shooting. But I had an opportunity, obviously, to speak with the two deputies involved and ask how they felt about it. Both of those deputies said before this incident they were opposed to the SAFE Act. You should be happy to know that following this incident, following their windshields and almost being killed, both officers, both of those deputies continue to feel the same way. They had not an ounce of support for the SAFE Act, and they recognize nothing in the SAFE Act could have prevented them from going through what they went through. Back in 2013, I wanted to know. I mean, I was tired of reading other people's statistics. I figured you got to give me some good information. To anyone pursuing a graduate degree or his children or friends that are pursuing it, I can't think of a better subject for someone to take up and try to study for a doctoral thesis than to find out who is committing crimes in America or who's committing crimes in New York with firearms. Now, intuitively, we'd all guess that we know that. And I thought I knew, but I said to the people in our jail, I want every statistic you can give me on the last 10 people, no sorting, I want to know the last 10 people that have been brought into the Erie County Jail on any kind of a weapon offense. It took a couple weeks for them to get the information. We don't have a lot of money to spend on that kind of study. But what I found out is 9 of those 10 people that were brought into the Erie County Jail for weapons offense had not yet reached their 23rd birthday. The one exception to that was a 40-year-old individual who came in on a domestic violence complaint, and the weapon used in that domestic violence was not a firearm. But of the 90%, the 9 of the 10, less than 23, 6 of those 9 had already committed and been convicted of a violent felony in New York State. The shocking part of this is, and what really tells the story, is they had to be 16, they were, we know that, they were 16 at the time they were charged. They have not yet reached their 23rd birthday. Why are they back on the streets committing more crimes? I'll get back to my notes, but you have to also ask yourself this. Our country throughout history, I don't know if we have a speaker from the military, has protected the liberties and liberated other countries and assisted them to continue with their newfound liberty by doing what? By arming them. So while the United States is arming people around the world to ensure their liberties in their country, what are they doing to us and why? Why are they disarming our own people while arming people in other countries?